Hello and welcome back to the Little Craft House. In today's tutorial, I am going to show you how to make this silicone bead keyring with a hidden knot. So I really like this design because it's nice and neat and tidy, as you can't see any of the cords or the knot as it's all hidden on the inside. So if you'd like to learn how to make this, come and join me as I'm going to talk you through step by step how to do it. And believe me, it's really easy. So let's get started. So to make our hidden knot keyring, firstly we're going to need some cord. So I like to use 1 millimeter nylon cord for this one, and I like nylon cord because it is nice and strong and it comes in a range of colours. So I like to use 1 millimeter in thickness or slightly thinner. I find that if you go thicker, it becomes more difficult to do multiple passes through the beads, which is something that we do whilst we're doing our keyrings. Now, to help us thread our beads on, we have one of these handy little tools. So this is called a loop turner. So this tool makes things so much easier. However, if you don't have one, a blunt needle or just freehand threading will also be fine. Now, if you are freehand threading, you may want to melt the ends of your nylon cord using a flame, just a candle or lighter. That'll just put a little hard tip on the end, which will help to stop it from fraying. Now, I've got some scissors here too for cutting my cord, and of course I have my silicone beads. I've chosen two feature beads here, the flower and the leaf. I've also got an icosahedron, which is like a hexagon, but it just has a few more points on it. And I've also got a round bead, which is a 15 millimeter. I've also got a little faux suede tassel here. And of course we have our keyring. So the keyring is a lobster clasp keyring with the lobster part at the top. And it has this little swivel part here, and that's where we're going to join our cord through. It just gives it a bit of free motion here and frees up both the clasp and the ring for someone to attach their keys and whatever else they would like to attach to their keyring. Now, I should also mention about the silicone beads. The reason that I like to use silicone is that they have a little bit of squish to them, so they're not solid like a wood bead or an acrylic bead, and this comes in really handy when making keyrings because we're able to pull the keyrings really tight or pull the cords really tight and get these all nicely pushed up against each other, and that comes in handy for us hiding our knots. So our first step will be to cut some cord. So I probably want about 30 or 40 centimeters worth of cord. Actually, let's just go a little bit more just so we're not too short. Yeah, that's probably, it's that long. So, okay, and from there we're going to thread our keyring on and move that down to the center. We're now going to thread our beads onto our loop turner. We're going to thread the bead that we want at the bottom of our keyring onto the turner first, and it's going to come all the way up to the top bead, which will be what we want underneath of the keyring. That's the order that we would like it. So now I'm going to take both of the cords and hook them into the loop turner there, and I'm just going to close the little latch on there, and I'm going to just thread on the top two beads. From there, I'm going to separate my cords, and using one cord, I'm going to lock that into the loop turner and thread the final two beads on. So those top 2 beads go through both cords, and these last 2 go through, so the bottom 2 go through just the singular cord. I'm now going to thread my tassel onto the bottom of these 2 beads, like so, and we're going to bring this cord back up, and we're going to bring it back up through those 2 beads to meet this cord back in the middle. So this is where the loop turner comes in really handy, because I'm going to just push it down through those 2 beads, hook the cord in, and pull the cord back up. Now this takes a little bit of working to bring all my beads and the tassel all up nice and close together. And now you'll see that both of my cords now come out through the center, like so. Once I'm happy with how all these cords are and how nice and tight it is, we can tie our securing knot. So I'm just going to do a double knot, pulling it nice and tight so that it goes in between those beads. And for extra grip on our second knot, we're going to go 1 more loop under, so it's going to be a double one, and then pull it nice and tight. Now we'd like to try and hide this knot. I don't want it sitting there in the middle, so we're going to try and bring it back down through this bead. So once again with the loop turner, we are going to push it up through this bead. I'm going to grab both of those cords. If it's too tricky to do both at once, you can just do them singularly. And I'm going to pull it back through that. Whoop. They are being difficult for me today. As we give that a big tug, it just has pulled that knot into that bead, so now that's not visible. And by just pulling this bead to the side and giving a little snip, we're able to hide those end pieces too. So as I mentioned before, this is one of the main reasons that I like the silicone beads. They have that little bit of flexibility that we're able to pull and push them, and we're able to maneuver them so that our cords can hide within those beads. So there we have it. We have now a hidden knot keyring. And for additional hold, if you are worried about those knots still coming undone, then you can always pop a little bit of glue in between just to glue the beads together, and that way the knot is nicely secured in there. So thank you for joining me this week doing something a little bit different to my normal earring tutorials. I have a few more different keyring tutorials coming up over the next few weeks as well. So if you're interested, please make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of my tutorials. Thanks again for joining me today, and I'll see you again next week. Bye!